Okay, for homework 1-9, if you didn't get the minimum score on the quiz yesterday on the 8th, I need you to write down all these problems and maybe listen for keywords. I'm going to try to get graph paper for you if you don't have it. So hopefully you have graph paper. I'd like you to try to graph and draw these as good as you can. But this first one right here, range measured from bottom to the top, Y numbers. Because this arrow is going down, there is no bottom to this graph. So the bottom would be negative infinity up here to the top boundary, 5 through the y-axis. So no bottom boundary, negative infinity to 5 through the y-axis. That is my range. If I wrote that in what we call set notation, because that is interval notation, that would be written as x sandwiched between this negative infinity and 5. So negative infinity less than y, because it's y numbers, less than or equal to 5. That is called set notation. Alright, domain measured from left to right. Dolphin. So left to right would be measured from negative 5 through this x-axis all the way to positive infinity. I know it looks like it's going down, but domain is measured from left to right, and this is going to the right. Even though it's going down, it's going to the right. So from negative 5 to positive infinity, set notation would be negative 5 less than or equal to x less than infinity. Notice the infinity gets the less than sign, not less than or equal to. The square brackets ones get the less than or equal to sign. The minimum, because this graph is going down, there's no bottom to it, there is no minimum, none. The maximum is this highest point at the top, which will be negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, written with rounded brackets as a coordinate. The only time you use square brackets is doing interval notation. Rounded brackets for coordinates. Dog. Alright, this one. I want the domain of the black line, and then I'm going to have you do the domain of this close-ended blue line. So the black line measured from left to right in interval notation would be from negative infinity to positive infinity. Set notation would be negative infinity less than x less than positive infinity. I want you to write this answer as all real numbers. All real numbers. Because that's the same as writing it all fancy like this. Every number from negative infinity to infinity, all real numbers. That blue line, because it doesn't have a double-ended arrow, has a firm left boundary. So this domain would be measured from this boundary line, from 1 square bracket to positive infinity. If I wrote that in set notation, would be 1 less than or equal to x less than infinity in set notation. Blue. Alright, almost done. These, they want you, for this first one, to see the two sections where this is going downhill. They want these answers in set notation. It might be easy for some of you to write this in interval notation first. Measured from 0 to 2 through the x-axis is this first stretch. It's going down from 0 through 2 on the x-axis. And the other one is from this 4 to 5 on the x-axis. But answer in set notation, 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5. That's how they're going to write these answers. From 0 to 2, 4 to 5. This one, be careful, because the origin is right here in the middle, not in the middle of the graph. Be careful how that affects your numbering here. This is not 0 right here. 0 starts right here. This is the y-axis, x-axis, I'm sorry, this is the y-axis. So using the proper grid, this maximum is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma 4 rounded brackets. This minimum, this lowest point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, negative 4 it looks like. This one asks the two increments where it is increasing. And again, I'm trying to remind you that this is the origin, the way this graph is oriented. Make sure you see that. Otherwise, these coordinates might be off if you're using a different system of numbers. That is the origin right there, right in the middle. Okay, the two places where this graph is increasing. Surf. That is the last word. So going up left to right, measured from 1 all the way over here to 5. We do not break this up into separate intervals, since from here to here it's all going up in one stretch from 1 through 5. And of course, set notation eventually. This one goes from 9 to 11. And again, double checking my numbers, counting 9 to 11. Don't want to miss these because you're miscounting. Set notation 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5. 9 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 11. Alright, turn this in. And for those of you who didn't get the minimum score, I will give you full credit on this homework assignment. Good luck.